Through my 20s, I've been able to obtain that fabled 800 credit score, all while obtaining 21 credit cards. What? How? Why? What are you doing? What is this? So in this video, I'll give you some credit score basics, how I achieved this score, how you can achieve this score as well, and we'll definitely debunk some credit card myths along the way. So if that sounds good to you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell below so you can join our growing family here on YouTube. And now let's get into it. So why does a credit score matter? What does an 800 credit score do for you actually? So unless you have millions of dollars in cash, or you just buy anything you want cash, yeah, if you do have that, you don't really need a credit score. But most people don't have that. So we need loans to do things. And if you're going to take a loan out, you're going to get a specific thing called an interest rate on your loan. So what is an interest rate? It's basically the fee that you're paying to the person that's giving you the loan for that service of the loan. So the higher the interest rate, the higher the fee of whatever loan that is. So whether you're buying a house, getting a car, whatever, if you have a really good credit score, it lowers that interest rate that you're going to pay on the loan, which can be hundreds of dollars a month. That's why you want to have a good credit score, so that you can get those ideal rates. So in the event that you do need to borrow money, you'll get it at the cheapest rate possible. Okay, so what is an 800 credit score? So your credit score is made up of 5 different things: your payment history, your credit utilization, your length of your credit history, your number of inquiries that you've had, and the types of credit that you've had. And each one of these is weighted differently in your score. So the first one and the most important is payment history. Are you making your payments on time? Are you missing payments? What are you doing? And why is that the biggest one? Because it shows to lenders out there that, hey, this person, when I let them borrow money or when I lend them money, they're paying it back. And that's obviously the number one thing that lenders are worried about. And that's why it's the biggest part of your credit score. So if you have a credit card, as long as you're paying it off in full every month, and this doesn't really have to do with credit scores, but this is more of a life thing, pay your credit cards off in full. Do not carry a balance. The amount of interest that you pay on credit card debt is insane. So if you don't have the money, don't buy it on a credit card. That's not what it's for. Like if you just use them as debit cards, as if it's cash, that's how you want to be using them. So anyway, do that. Pay it on time. A little hack, and I don't really want to open this door, but technically you are allowed certain late payments. Like I've been late a couple times when I've opened up a card, forgot to set up automatic payments. So that's why I ended up accidentally missing a payment. I realized that, so if it's only a few days, just contact the bank. They'll likely refund you the fee. And if you can, just set up automatic payments. There should be no excuse for you not to make these payments as long as you're not outspending yourself. So there, if you have that handled, that's one thing. The second thing is credit utilization. So what does that mean? That means that if you have a certain amount of credit allotted and given to you, so say you have one credit card with a $10,000 limit. If you're using all $10,000 of that limit, that's 100% of credit utilization, which is bad. So you don't want to have that much of your credit used. Why? Because that's when lenders see that you're using everything that they lent you, that's showing that you're a risky borrower. So the best way to improve on your utilization is either to decrease your spending, or if you have that much spending normally, if you have a bunch of other cards and you don't change your spending, then you have more credit given to you, but you're still keeping that amount of credit that you're using very low, and that's how you can improve your utilization. So the third one, length of credit history, that's a little bit more self-explanatory. It's if you have a credit card that's been open for 10 years, very long credit history. If you don't have anything, then yeah, it's gonna ding your score because it doesn't show that you've been able to make payments year after year after year. Credit inquiries. So this is one where people say that, yes, if you open up a credit card, it's gonna tank your credit score. And it does temporarily, but it will always come back. Because again, inquiries is only 10% of the credit score, while as your utilization is a bigger percentage of your credit score. So technically, if you keep your spending the same, your utilization will go down, which is a bigger impact to your score, but your inquiries in recent history will impact your score negatively, but it's at a less percentage than your utilization. So again, that's why you don't want to be opening cards every single month, doing all that kind of stuff, because then to the lenders, they're like, why does this person constantly need credit? What are they doing? Makes it a little red flag for them. And then the last one is types of credit. So whether you have credit cards, whether you have your home payment, whether you have a car payment, and just seeing that you have different ways for you to pay back what you said you were gonna pay back. Okay, so now you know those 5 categories, so how do you get that great score? So very simple terms, pay on time. Don't use all your available credit. If you have long lines of credit, keep those open. That's why you want to start with no annual fee cards early on so that you can just keep that forever without any real financial issue. Keep your inquiries to a minimum. Don't be inquiring for new credit cards like every month. I mean, well, I've done that once, but that's because I have credit history. But anyway. And then the last one, yes, if you have different types of credit, but then again, make sure that you just do the other 4 steps. So that's why for me, always paying on time, except for those handful of times that I didn't, got that wiped away. And I just want to be real with you because it's just, I don't want you to get that worried like I did when I missed my one payment. And my utilization is very low because I have a couple $100,000 of credit available to me, but I only use like a couple thousand a month. I don't increase my spending to use all of that credit given to me. So I keep that very low at around like 1% or less. My length of credit history is pretty good because I was lucky enough that my parents had convinced me to open up a credit card when I was still in high school. So I have a few lines of credit that are over 10 years old. Well, it's a long time. My credit inquiries were less over the past couple years, but since I kind of got out of Chase jail, I have a couple of dings on my credit report in recent history just because I just opened up 3 new cards. And then my types of credit, I've had a car loan, I have a couple home loans, and I have my credit cards, so I'm pretty good there. So maybe some of you are skeptical because you're like, but you have like 20 something credit cards. What is this world? What are you doing? I heard that that's bad. So I'll quickly talk about some of these common thoughts that people have around credit cards, and I'll let you know about them. So number 1, multiple credit cards is bad for your credit. Obviously at 21. I mean, I'm the proof of that. And again, we talked about it earlier, it's because your utilization should improve as long as you keep your spending low. But yeah, it's just your credit inquiries temporarily ding it. But after so many months, your score comes back up. So just make sure that you don't do that if you're gonna apply for a loan. There's another myth out there saying that you need to carry a balance in order for you to gain credit. Like, that's not true at all. I would imagine that maybe the credit card companies threw out that myth because then you pay them more interest if you hold a balance. So no, do not hold the balance, do not pay that interest, treat this like a debit card. And number 3, closing unused cards will help your credit, and that's not necessarily true. So if you have an unused card but it's one of your longest lines of credit, do not close it, especially if there's no annual fee attached to it. So again, if you just refer back to those 5 things what make up your credit score, take a look at those and just make sense of it as you go through that journey. So if you're starting from scratch, what do? How do you gain credit? So usually you have to start small. Start off with some no annual fee card. If you're a student, they have all the different student cards like the Discover It card. I think Chase came out with their new no annual fee card for that. It's gonna be hard for you to get into like those bigger tier credit cards if you don't have at least something that you're starting to build credit on. And again, if you open a no annual fee card, you can keep that open for the rest of your life, and there's no real bad financial downside to that because no annual fee. So again, and I'm gonna repeat this again, pay it off every month in full, don't hold your balance, and just start building that habit little by little, and then just starting to gain your credit resume. And then once you get the hang of it, you can get more credit cards, you can start to join the family here with all these credit cards and start using the game to your advantage. If you're a responsible financial adult, again, you can reap some of these benefits from the credit card companies if you do this right and are financially responsible. So that is how you can get an 800 credit score as well. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about in this video, please comment below. I'll do my best to reply to you. I hope all of you out there can help improve your financial life. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and hit the notification bell below so you can join our growing family here on YouTube. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your help, and I'll see you on the next one.